Number 8. Kintsugi thinking, from the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold. You mess up, fall apart, something cracks in your life, maybe you. You want to hide it, pretend it didn't happen. Start fresh. But Kintsugi says, don't. In Japan, when a bowl breaks, they don't throw it out. They repair it with gold, and the break becomes part of the story. Visible, honored, beautiful. Kintsugi is technically an art form, but it's also a philosophy. Scars aren't flaws, they're proof of transformation. Therapists channel this, trauma researchers echo it, but most of us live it without naming it. When you stop hiding the damage and start integrating it, that's Kintsugi in action. Not pretending it never cracked, but becoming something stronger because it did. Number 7. Wu Wei, from Taoism, translating to non-action or effortless action. You're pushing, grinding, planning, but it's not working. So you pause, and suddenly things move. That's Wu Wei, not laziness, but alignment. In Taoist philosophy, Wu Wei is the idea that the best action often feels like no action, not because you're doing nothing, but because you're moving with the current instead of against it. Think surfers catching the wave, musicians improvising in flow. You doing something exactly when it needs doing, and not a second before. Western culture glorifies effort, hustle, grit, the endless push. Wu Wei whispers, what if it's not supposed to be this hard? Not passive, not reactive, just responsive. If your most successful moments happened when you stopped forcing them, you've already practiced Wu Wei. Number 6. Anti-fragility, from Nassim Taleb, but you might be practicing it without realizing. Some things break under stress, some things survive it, but a few rare things, they get stronger. That's anti-fragility, the belief that chaos, volatility, and disorder aren't always bad. Sometimes they're fuel. Biologically, we're wired for this. Muscles tear to grow, immune systems learn from viruses, ideas evolve through friction. Anti-fragile systems don't avoid shocks, they need them. And this isn't just philosophy, it's design. It's how Amazon built logistics. It's how indie creators outpace mega brands. It's how people who've been through hell often end up more clear, more focused, and more alive. If you've ever said, this broke me, but I'm better now, you weren't just healing. You were adapting through fire. That's anti-fragility, and in a world built on fake stability, it might be your sharpest tool. Number 5. Acrasia defense. You've been here. Alarm goes off. You snooze it. Vegetables in the fridge. You reach for chips. Therapy session booked. You cancel. Again, this isn't about ignorance. It's not rebellion. It's acrasia, the ancient Greek word for acting against your better judgment. But some people, they stop fighting it. They build a whole worldview on this tension. They say, maybe the war between what I want and what I should want is the real problem. And then they lay down their weapons. Not out of apathy, but realism. You're not a machine. You're not built for perfect execution. Acrasia defense is the philosophy of self-acceptance through surrender. It's the idea that maybe it's okay to keep stumbling, as long as you stop pretending it's not who you are. It's not laziness, it's truce. Number 4. Anti-utilitarianism. Productivity is everywhere. Calendar apps, timed showers, audiobooks at 2 times speed. But for some people, usefulness itself is the enemy. Anti-utilitarianism is the belief that usefulness has poisoned us, that the obsession with output killed joy, art, and meaning, and the only way to reclaim your soul is to do useless things. They read books they can't quote, paint things they'll never sell, sit still, not to recharge, but just to exist. This isn't laziness or rebellion, it's rebellion with aesthetics, because in a world that wants you optimized, doing something inefficient, on purpose, becomes radical. Productivity is a trap. Efficiency is where beauty goes to die. And anti-utilitarians, they've already stepped outside the factory. Number 3. Abundance rebellion. This world runs on artificial scarcity. Too little money, too little time, too little attention. So people hoard, cling, protect. Not because they're bad, because they're scared. But some people don't play that game. Abundance rebellion is the quiet philosophy of refusing to let scarcity shrink you. It's the belief that generosity is power, and withholding is how the system wins. They overtip even when they're broke. They share ideas without asking for credit. They help people move, even if no one helped them. Not because they're saints, because they know fear makes people smaller, and they're done shrinking. This isn't about being naive. It's about making the world more livable through small acts of contradiction. Rebellion isn't always a protest sign. Sometimes it's just helping anyway. Number 2. Panpsychism. This one sounds like a total stretch until you realize you might already believe it. Panpsychism is the idea that everything in the universe has some form of consciousness, not just people, not just animals, but rocks, rivers, dust, maybe even your phone, not full-blown thoughts, but a flicker of awareness. A tiny point of perspective built into the base layer of reality. It's not a new concept. It shows up in ancient animist traditions, and now it's getting attention again in modern philosophy of mind, especially because no one can explain how consciousness exists in the first place. So maybe it's not created. Maybe it's always been there. Sounds abstract, right? But think about this. How many times have you joked that your old car knew you were going to sell it, and suddenly the brakes go out? Or your laptop mysteriously starts behaving when you threaten to replace it? Or you talk to your houseplants like they're pets, and they thrive on it? Panpsychism says maybe that's not just projection. Maybe things really do feel in their own quiet, slow, non-human way. Not human logic, not emotion like we know it, but still, something. A secret inner world behind every object. So if you've ever thanked your coffee machine for working or apologized to a chair you bumped into, congratulations. You might already be living one of the weirdest philosophies in existence. Number 1. Absurdist optimism. Camus said life is absurd. You crave meaning in a universe that doesn't care. You want answers, and the cosmos gives you silence. But where nihilism stops and says, why bother? Camus smiles and says, exactly, so let's live anyway. This is absurdist optimism. The belief that meaning isn't found, it's made. And joy isn't proof that life makes sense. It's proof that you're alive. It's that moment you laugh in the middle of a breakdown, the dinner party after the funeral, the decision to make something beautiful, even if no one sees it. Absurdist optimists aren't pretending things are fine. They've just made peace with the chaos and decided to build a garden in it, not out of denial, but defiance.